Hi, I'm Wild Bill. It's the 16th of June 2026. I was watching a video on a psychology, on a person, mm, the personality or a personality type that tends to self isolate, and what it might mean, and why that person may be doing it for perfectly effective and good reasons, instead of just immense social anxiety. And so I listened, and I listened with as open a mind as I could allow, because I really, really have to be careful in a case like this. This is how a con man presents his con, by finding elements that any of us might look up and think, oh, is that me? And then honing them down to a certain kind of element that people who are more credulous than others would be like, ooh, so that's what it's about. And eventually, of course, he draws in a small circle of what we could call marks and proceeds to take advantage of them whatever way that particular con man wishes to take advantage. This is infamous in the psychic realm, because soothsayers and astrologers and people that deal with the intangible uh, can say anything they want, and how can you prove them wrong? So if you're inclined to believe, if you find enough places, cognates, things that you touch that he has touched upon also, you may find yourself drawn in and think, well, this is me. He is talking about me. He presented 6 bullet points and 5 of them applied directly to me like spears to my soul. He must be my guru, my psychopomp. He must be my special instructor. For you people chasing the logos. So, but he's not. He's a con man. And so sometimes I could say, well, that seems reasonable to this man's presentation. And sometimes I thought, like, is he casting a wide net instead of dangling a hook for my specific kind of fish? So I was about halfway convinced and halfway out of the convincing thing. Yeah, this is a con man who wants engagement, and he's going to present his con, his narrative, and I'm either going to buy into it or I'm not. And if I buy into it, I'll watch the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And maybe he'll get 1 million views. Maybe he'll earn a living on YouTube. Wouldn't that be nice? So, in the process of delivering his thesis and addending his just shy of emotional level appeals, and you feel lonely, well, that kind of thing. I heard some things that I think resonate strongly with me, that might even be truths, or they just might be, he caught me with those particular hooks or that net. So I'm going to address this from a very personal point of view, but this video was the genesis of this particular way of couching my thoughts. So for my street cred here, I'm an autodidact. That means a self-educated person. And I'm a creative talent. I think those that know me, whether you like me or not, you'll probably admit that I'm a creative talent. And I'm also, if you know me, an inveterate anti-team worker. I've never been a good team player, and I've never worked with a team that I thought was using me to my fullest. I've been exploited for the privilege of others in teams, but never employed at my level in the right way. That's a personal opinion. But that identifies who I am and how I feel. You already know what I'm butthurt about. That should make the rest of this pretty simple. So I'm going to address this idea that a person, maybe me, might feel alone or be alone because of factors pertaining to psychology that aren't just agoraphobia or horrible, awful, crushing social anxiety, both of which I'm familiar with. So, in my thoughts, A, or the, key to creativity is isolation. The isolate has time to recover from the many microscopic traumas of social interaction. He or she, shim or sher, can concentrate, or must concentrate, depending on inclination, when alone and free of the ablative feel of constant overt stimuli. This is the void into which fools gaze, and from which inspiration emerges. I should know. It's my void, too. I've audited a televised interview with a man who'd worked with all of the age of swing jazz greats. When probed by the host as to how these artists achieved their impossible-seeming mastery, the guest replied the same every time. He was able to separate himself from reality for a while. This can happen because of trauma, real or imagined. The endocrine system thinks it's all the same. In any case, the isolate is able to be free of the negative or positive reinforcement while in isolation. As a counter-narrative, I wonder how Syd Barrett felt after the ejection from his own band. Did he live on in anger and frustration? Or act in utter denial just to be able to get out of bed? Or did he rock isolation, creating subsequently the great artworks of his multimedia life? Wild Bill, 16th of June, 2026, Artistic Stream of Consciousness.